Greetings, engineers. If this is your first time opening Civil 3D, I know you've been looking at drawings like Canva or those 2D drafting stuff, and you wonder how did they come up with all of that? So, for example, let us create context. This is a box culvert. So, in this box culvert, it's basically 2D drafting, where number one, you have to create this image in your head, in your mind rather. And once you're able to create that, then you can be able to translate it into a soft, tangible result right here with you. Okay, so I want us to go into how do we get to do this. Number one, you're still in the interface tour. We use the draw and the modify uh, panel that is under the home tab. So home tab, draw, and the modify. So this is where the magic happens. Number one is we are currently just going to have an overview of the different tools that we have for 2D drafting or for drawing. The first one is align. So this is where you create a line. So you just need to select on this drop down. Once you select on this drop down, we have quite a number of options or ways, methods of creating a line. But in this case, you just click on create line. So it will ask you to specify a starting point in your workspace. So you just click anywhere on the screen, and then it will ask you to specify the next origin. So in the next origin, you can specify the angle, the direction, wherever you choose, you move your cursor, and also the length of that line. Better yet, you can use L as a shortcut, and then you just press enter, L, press enter, and you can still create a line. The second one is a curve. So for example, when I talk of road design, curves, those radius when you're doing design of parking lots and all of that. So you would want to create curves. So this is the function for all curves. You start, center, and all these functions. And then the second one is a polyline. So a polyline. And then there is another trick when you're using Civil 3D. Just hover your cursor on top of a function, and then it will give you a preview of what that does. So polyline, it creates a 2D polyline. It's a connected sequence of segments created as a single planar object. So in this case, what this means is, for example, I wanted to create a rectangle. So let me do it with a line. So line here, start it here, probably here, rectangle. Okay, I missed it there, but I can still, anyway, that's it. If you select on this one, these are independent, AutoCAD objects. So the different segments are independent. Let us do the same using a polyline. So click on this one here, 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 here. Okay, right. So that's it. If you select on this one, it's a connected sequence. So this also depends on your functionality. How do you want to use it? What do you want to achieve? So if you want something that is interconnected, then we use polyline. The second function is, of course, creating a best fit line, a best fit curve. This is when you have you want to create a most probable line when you have a number of points, AutoCAD points, survey points. So that's what you use. Same thing with a best fit arc and a best fit parabola. The next one is if you want to create curves between two lines and all of these. You want to create a reverse curve, a compound curve. So this is a more a better way of creating a little bit more complex curves, compound curve, reverse curves. We'll also be exploring that. The other function is, of course, if you want to create a circle. So there are different functions. So you just click on circle, click the center. You can input the diameter here in the command center, or just stretch it out to wherever you want to have it. Then the second function that we will be exploring is creating a rectangle or a polygon. So here, still under draw, you can be able to create a rectangle. So the beauty of shapes is sometimes you want to create a rectangle. So for example, you're designing a box cutter. This internal section here, just this is just another box. So you don't really need to do all of that. You just click on the rectangle, specify the starting point, and then there is the dimensions here. So you may want to say my first dimension is 50, and then the width is 30. Then you press enter, and then you have your rectangle right there. So you don't have to do the lines. That's the trick of using these objects. And then the other one is when you want to create these ellipses, you can be able to do them here. Arch pattern. So if you want to arch or shade or have a fill in an enclosed section. So for example, once you click on arch, then you find that, let me just click on arch, you see this contextual ribbon that pops, and you're able to select the different patterns that you need. So for example, you're painting a masonry wall, you can use this one, you can use this brick and earth, all of that. So you just, for example, may use this, and then I want to arch this section, and you can see this is a solid. You can be able to modify the color and all of that information. So the second thing that you would want to do here is, there is a point where you want to create different other spline, spline feed. You want to create a construction line right here, and you can see it's an infinite line that extends to infinity, right? This workspace actually is infinite. It can fit any dimension that you need. Also, if you want to create array, if you want to create different sections are here, if you want to create an helix, if you want to create a donut, and then the donut will ask you to specify outer and inner radius and diameter, be able to create that. And then the other function is if you want to create a wipeout, this is a revision cloud, a section where you would want, uh, uh, you want to create a new revision cloud by dragging your cursor around it. If you want to create an helix, of course, I talked about that. So those are the functions that we have under the draw panel. So that's basically how we want to play with it. And I'm always my take when it comes to 2D drafting and using the draw panel here, it's experiment. Just look at a random box culvert someplace and try to replicate it, and then that's how you get good at it. That's when you know which tool to use when, right? And then as you progress with practice, you become good, 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 good. Better yet, if you watch our videos, then you become better, right? You become better. So the curve to the learning curve becomes a little bit smoother. So